Hi there, my name is Roland, and today I want to talk to you about how VisualWorks can be configured and set up as a server for an SAP system. And we're using Syncom Smalltalk for SAP NetWeaver for this. The main product is useful to connect VisualWorks to SAP, and as you can see it's able to provide support for both directions. So today we want to concentrate on the direction from SAP to VisualWorks. So if you have got a VisualWorks server, it can be called from an SAP installation, and you can choose between the RFC communication and the SAP communication. What we are showing in this screencast is how a VisualWorks RFC service can be called from an SAP NetWeaver function. So what we assume here is that the SAP NetWeaver system is already set up correctly, and the VisualWorks server is set up as a destination in this SAP NetWeaver system. So let's have a look how this can work. So first we'll look at the service definition in VisualWorks. So we've got our module Smalltalk as a server module, and it has got a registered server implementation. So we look into the implemented services and we find Smalltalk as a server, and the service is called ST-server. Method simply increments the case attribute of the parameter object and writes it back into the out argument. Now we insert a breakpoint here, and we'll find out if we call the method what it will do. So we start up the RFC server and make sure it's running, and go over to the SAP system and go into an ABAP function which will now call our service. The destination is ST as server, and that's the same program ID we have provided in the VisualWorks server. So what does the ABAP function do? It sets up some variables and calls the VisualWorks service twice. The second time it passes the out parameter from the first call into the in argument. Now we start debugging the ABAP function, and we look at the local variables, and right now they are both 0. Now we step through the code and see that the local variable is already set up. Now we call VisualWorks, and we are in the debugger of the VisualWorks system. We can look at the parameter object, and we see that there was a 1 passed into the case attribute. The out argument is still empty. So with our function executed, we get the results back into our ABAP function, and we're ready to do the second call, which will now pass the result of the first call into the case attribute. So if we look into it, currently it's set to 2, that's the old result, and if we increment it, it will probably return a 3. Yeah, we see it on the ABAP side. The debug session in SAP finished with the correct result. What we've seen today is how a VisualWorks service can be called from SAP using the RFC communication layer. Of course, you're able to do the same thing using the SAP service communication layer, and be aware to watch for the statefulness of the SAP service and defining it. That's all for today, so have fun with VisualWorks. Goodbye.